Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Foops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about Demar Derozan. He is heading to the Sacramento Kings. A very interesting move. We're going to talk about all the moving pieces and everything surrounding this signing, signing trade that happened here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications to all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that, description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So DeMar DeRozan was kind of the last name, bigger name sitting in free agency. I made a video about him the other day. I think it was on Thursday, I want to say, either Thursday or Friday. I think I made a video about him talking about like his situation, where he can go, and all this stuff like that. And it's a very awkward situation he was sitting in. And the Kings were a team that after the Lakers and the Heat kind of missed out, the Kings became a team that was involved in it. With the Kings trying to go get another guy ready to add to this team. And then it was reported early Saturday, saying that they were going to have a meeting. Kings were going to fly this, or was it DeMar going to Sacramento? Or something was going to happen where the Kings were going to meet up with DeMar, and also reports saying the Spurs could potentially be a third team to do a sign and trade, because that's the only way DeMar really could go anywhere for a sign and trade. And then last night, about 11:30ish my time, it finally come out, or 10. I think it was actually 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock my time. It was reported that it happened. It's a three-team sign and trade. So the deal fully is the Kings are getting DeMar DeRozan. The Chicago Bulls are getting Chris Duarte, 2 second-round picks, and some cash. And the Spurs are getting Harrison Barnes and a 2032 unprotected pick swap from the Sacramento Kings. And that's the full trade. And yeah, DeMar DeRozan is now a Sacramento King. So a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll start with, of course, the big DeMar and the Kings. Honestly, I really still don't know how to feel about it. Like, DeMar is still really, really good. Also, by the way, DeMar, the contract he signed, DeMar, it's a 3 year, $76 million deal with a partially guaranteed third year. So yeah, for DeMar, he's still really good. He's still a guy that give you 23, 24, 25 points a game. Really efficient. He's still an all-star level player. DeMar DeRozan is absolutely still an all-star player, no question about it. It's just the fit with the Kings is interesting because they do have De'Aaron and Demonis, two guys out. De'Aaron loves to get downhill, loves to get to the mid range, loves to get to the paint. He has become a lot better of a 3 point shooter, but I still don't. He's still not an elite. You just want him. You don't want him taking 7 or 8 threes a game. You know, Sabonis is a guy. Obviously, he's a bully in the paint. He's gonna get to the rim. He also needs the ball in his hand. To play make and do other things. He's a really good passer. Obviously, I think he led the league in triple doubles last year. He's gonna get to the paint. He'll take a three once in a while, but he's not a 3 point shooter at all. DeMar DeRozan also is a guy that needs the ball in his hands. Loves to get to the mid range. Obviously, loves to get to the paint, and isn't someone that's gonna space the floor either. So they kind of have three. Well, I don't know if I count both, but they have De'Aaron and Demonis are both kind of. They both have kind of similar styles. Now, De'Aaron can shoot the three ball, obviously, and he's fine with shooting the three and fine with playmaking and stuff like that. But it's just you have three guys on the court that aren't really, going to be amazing spacers. Well, at least with Sabonis and DeRozan, at least. De'Aaron can go off and can have some nights where he hits 4 or 5 threes, obviously. He's not a horrible spacer, but it's just, you rather him take a three than him get by you and get to the mid range, or get to the free throw line and get to the rim. You'll let him take the three before you do that. And so that's why the fit is kind of odd. The Kings are a team that wants to be a high powered offense. They were a high powered offense a couple years ago when they made their crazy run as a third seed. They were the best offense in basketball, and they're an amazing offense. They're a team that pushes the pace, high tempo, get a lot of threes up, stuff like that. DeMar can help a lot with that offense, especially in the half court offense. He'll help a whole lot. But it's just I don't really know how I feel about the fit. I'm not saying it's a bad fit, but I'm also not saying it's a great fit. It's something really we're gonna have to just see. We can theorize and stuff all we want, but really, at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to see how it works. I feel like, there is a scenario where this does go good. Where DeMar has another really good year. He's the guy that they kind of miss. Because I said in my look-in video about the Kings, you could definitely tell the Kings need something else. They had that year, 2022, where they were a 3 seed and Darren and Demonis were amazing. Guys like Kevin Herter, Malik Monk, and stuff like that were having crazy out of body kind of seasons. Last year it wasn't the same. The bench production wasn't the same. Kevin Herter, Malik Monk still was really good. He probably could have won Six Man of the Year. Harrison Barnes didn't have a great year. Kevin Herter didn't have a great year. Keegan Murray didn't have a great start. He ended off really well, but he didn't have a great start to the year. And the production kind of went down for a lot of their players that they were relying on their first year. They did that, and you saw what happened. They were a playing team. They missed out on the playoffs, I think, right? Yeah, they missed the playoffs. And so now you go get Demar, and it was clear that you needed a third guy. They needed a third guy that could be consistent for them. Last year was really Malik Monk who's coming off the bench. And they re-signed him, which is really really nice. But Demar could be that third guy. Demar, I mean, he's still a guy that can give you 23, 25 points a game, you know, when you really need him to. Like he can do that. He can get you a couple assists. Defensively, I don't know how much he's gonna really impact, especially with the Kings not being an amazing defense. So I don't know how it fits there. But offensively, he can help him a lot. I can see a world where this does work out really well, and Demar is that third guy, and those three become kind of a big three, and they're really good. Also, they're gonna need a lot more spacing. Guys like Kevin Herter, Keegan Murray are gonna have to have really good years next year as well. Kevin Herter's gonna have to bounce back. Keegan Murray, I'm not really worried about Keegan Murray. I expect him to come out and have another really good season in his third year. Kevin Herter is really gonna have a big year, though. Kevin Herter is gonna have to have a really, really good year next year and space the floor and have that a similar year to what he did when he first came to Sacramento. He really is. But I can see a world where this definitely works out. But I can also see a world where it kind of is weird. It's weird. Demar still really doesn't really maybe have the impact that we think because he's trying, or one of the big three, maybe even De'Aaron doesn't have as big of an impact as we think because they're still trying to figure out how to work together and maybe one of them gets more passive and it's like, no, you got it. You do it this time, like it's your ball and all that stuff like that. I definitely see a world where it could go either way, but honestly, this is one of those where you just got to wait and see. But the thing is, I don't really mind the Kings going for this. I don't really mind it. I can kind of understand it with them kind of wanting a third guy. I probably would have went a different route in terms of a trade, trying to go get a Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, or something like that. But I don't think this is a horrible, especially with him sitting. I mean, if he's sitting out there in free agency, why not just take a chance? Especially he's from Cali. It's no doubt he probably wants to come back home and play. And it's not LA, but it's in California, at least it's Sacramento. It's gonna be really weird seeing him in the Kings jersey. Like they had the edit of him in the Kings jersey, and I don't know, it looks interesting. I don't know. It's gonna get some. It's gonna be something I gotta really get used to. Speaking of other teams though, the Bulls, um, Chris Duarte, 2 second round picks in cash. Guess not the worst thing you can get back. Especially for DeMar DeRozan, who was just kind of sitting in free agency, for a little while and could have maybe sat there for a little while longer potentially. Chris Duarte is a decent player, I guess. You get 2 second round picks, some cash back. You kind of wipe your hands with Demar, and now it looks like the Bulls are going into full on with Demar leaving. I love that Demar left Chicago because even though I mean in Chicago it was really fun times in Chicago, but I love it because now it's like the Bulls can comfortably go into a rebuild. Vucevic can get traded. Zach Levine, they're trying desperately, they're trying everything in their power to trade Zach Levine, but it won't happen. So I don't know when Zach Levine's getting traded. But they can trade Vucevic. They can kind of finally guys and let guys like Kobe White and Montas Buzelis and Jalen Smith and all of them just kind of go out and roam free and let them do their thing. So I think that's a good thing for them. And for the Spurs, Harrison Barnes is a really solid get back. Harrison Barnes is a Spurs type player. Harrison Barnes went to the Spurs in this trade, and I was like, that makes sense. Harrison Barnes, I feel like, is a Spurs, really professional, knows what he has to do. Is going to do the right thing for the team, fits into the team. Like, that's a really good pickup for the Spurs. And they get a 2032 pick swap, which who knows, 2032, that's literally 8 years from now. Who knows what the NBA is going to look like in 8 years. But they get that, and yeah, Harrison Barnes is going to really fit in there. The Spurs already getting Chris Paul, getting another really good vet in Harrison Barnes. They can give some tips to some young guys like Jeremy Sohan and Keldon Johnson and all them. Like that's a good pickup in the Spurs. That's a good pickup. They made the trade earlier that day where they traded Devontae Graham to the Hornets for like nothing. So you could kind of tell something was gearing up for them to be involved into something, and it happens. So now Demar's the king. We're gonna definitely see how it goes. Another Western Conference team making a big move to try and like make themselves better and compete in this dogfight of a Western Conference. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. I'm really interested to see how this works out. Because I want it to work out. I think it'd be really fun for them to be a player in the Western Conference. But at the end of the day, we just gotta wait and see. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.